Ben Holland seems the ideal matchup for him, and that's how they will start. So let's get underway from the Gabba. Round 14, the Demons versus the Lions, and here's Tim Lane.
And no problem separating the teams. The Lions in their alternative strip. There was Pickett, but for once didn't take the ball with him. He's taken all other things before him this season. Paid plenty of attention there. Eventually Brisbane have the win. Riscatelli, Bradshaw and Merritt in there. Couple of big Melbourne fizz. Tuesday down the back. Just squeezing it to nobody in particular, and for the moment, grim defence for the Demons. They do it well. White, McLean, and now the silky Bruce, who just seems to make the ball bounce for him. And then he can marshal the troops before he kicks the ball. Robertson in front, but Pask making a neat spoil. Brisbane control it. Still at a power, and Black.
On his wrong side, not for long. Back onto his familiar left, and guiding down to Jamie Charman, who sees a fairly congested forward 50. Although the Brisbane players doing their best to hold their positions forward and keep it open for Merritt. He's not interested in going in such a long option. This is Rowe, who's impressed. Not so impressive there. Miller was the spoiler on that occasion. Riscatelli. Rowe gets a second chance, goes for goal, goes...
Kicked it clearly.
McLean got him late.
Yeah,
just got the kick. And the contact came. McLean protesting that it was soft, but there's no doubt he got him after the kick. Just.
Yeah. Well, it's a free kick. I was actually looking down the ground then just to see Carroll on Bradshaw. I think this is going to be a terrific test for both Bradshaw. We know he can do it, but Carroll's meteoric rise in this defensive role in Melbourne, this one you can forget about. It's got nothing to do with Carroll's form at all.
He's had a good record against Melbourne in the past, and he starts nicely tonight for the Lions.
I mean, you may think that, well, we'll forget about that one because it really had nothing to do with the contest of Carroll and Bradshaw. But one of the things it does, it gives Daniel Bradshaw an easy first-up goal. And there's absolutely no doubt. I've never seen anyone not happy about kicking a goal. And a bit of confidence, maybe. Good contest. Looking forward to it.
Good start for Brisbane here in their away game against the Demons. They've won all the contested balls so far, or the majority. McLean, the miscreant a moment ago, getting it off. Jeff White making a mess of it. And Riscatelli's been in the midst of everything. Charman, as the Lions go forward again, and they've started impressively. Sherman to Pask, and he pumps it in to the warmest spot he can find. Merritt with numbers against him, hauls down a beauty. Oh, it's not paid. He sniffed. 2 grabs.
Well, it's a pretty clear call from the umpire, but gee, and he's right. I mean, I've seen those paid before, but looked like a pretty good call.
Davey down the back and sprinting away from them. Melbourne haven't crossed the centre. If they have, barely by centimetres thus far, and a cameraman and everyone coming to grief there. Oh, it's tough being a part of this television outfit.
Can't say we don't get close to the action.
And you'll see Simon Black now being picked up by McDonald, which probably most people predicted anyhow.
Really looking forward to the Charman White duel tonight, Blighty.
Yep. Yeah, both agile, mobile, good skills.
Back and held on to him.
Simon Black being marked too closely.
Move it on.
Brad Green standing the mark. Probing kick, hoping for Bradshaw, but in River-esque fashion, Jared Rivers takes the mark.
Boys, I've just been looking at some matchups. I don't know if you've said this yet, but I've got Acker on Pickett. That is Jason Ackermanis picking up Byron Pickett.
Well, you talk about appetising matchups. That is one to watch if the ball ever gets down there. At the moment, the game being played strictly in the Lions forward half, and Ackermanis playing a defensive role. There they are on the wing.
And Tim, with those matchups, all the discussions pre-game, I didn't expect that one.
James McDonald, who is enjoying career best form with the Demons this year. They've got a number of players with career best stats, at least, and James McDonald continues to be underrated, even though we say he's very underrated. You can see the men in charge tonight. on your screen. Voss, Selwood. The Lions continuing to get more of it. Rowe hacking it forward, keeping them busy. Riscatelli to the front. Sherman, another impressive player. A youngster coming through for the Lions. Riscatelli. Uze. Lots of appealing, and in the end, Gavin Dorr calls for a bounce.
So, Malcolm, is it Matthew's call on that? He's put Ackermanis on Pickett.
Oh, absolutely.
And what would his thinking be?
I think he's a senior player against a senior player. And he has played his best footy in this little spurt after a lot of trouble, probably at halfback.
Impressive start by Brisbane. Voss to Stiller and Riscatelli for another stab if the ball will hold for him. It didn't quite. It was agonisingly marginal. It would have been his fourth use of the ball in the opening 3 or 4 minutes, and a pretty good call by the boundary umpire. Those men in green do a great job. Byron Pickett. What a hard edge he's brought to Melbourne this year. He really has been the X factor. Brad Miller back. Tim Notting with the job on the Queensland boy, recruited from Mount Gravatt.
And you can see the matchups as they stand at the moment. Charman using his body to good effect. Maybe this is the chance for the Demons to go forward. Uze receiving from Whelan. And now it opens up through the middle. Cameron Bruce getting ahead of himself there, trying to get the ball on. Ackermanis quickly found that Brad Miller was around. And around him. And poor old Jason can't take a trick at the moment.
Well, who's making the play?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, but that's the rule. That's the change. Went to ground with it, picked it up.
Laid it off. Uze, we know he's got the long penetrating left foot. Was it accurate? Not as much as it needed to be.
This is just taking a while to settle down this game, isn't it? There's a lot of feeling out there.
Gee, Jeff White coming off already. That's very early for Jeff White. In fact, this year he's been averaging a lot less game time than in the last 2 or 3.
Mel Michael fumbling. Rose kicking, getting it back, giving to Stiller. Selwood. Brisbane dictating the terms early. Notting. And they have a man loose. It's Copeland on the wing. So the Lions can build again. He miscued that kick awfully. Straight to McLean. Melbourne can hurt on the rebound. It's open up there. Neitz. Notting did well. Michael there to mop up. Copeland and Notting. The Lion defence holding firm. Riscatelli. Costly fumble, but has Ackermanis working for him. Copeland again. And Brisbane with plenty of support. Stiller once more having a bit of it in the early minutes. Jamar now Charman's opponent and was favoured by a bounce and a fumble. Now here is the electric man, Aaron Davey. Can he keep going? Decides to dispose just a little strongly for Robertson, whose recovery's good. Works it on well. Green, but his soccer background, which Hutto will tell you all about, didn't quite stand the test then.
I think you've been watching too much late night TV at the moment. Tim Voss across to Patfull. But he can go. Another young line winning the footy. Bradshaw. Good battle down there with Carroll. It'll continue to be. The troops have arrived. Uze just can't get a handle on it. Or a boot. And it falls to Harding over the top. And Bradshaw's got his second gift. I'll have to go for the book to see if it's his birthday today, Malcolm.
Yes, that's that one from the other end that Melbourne really made a botch of. There's Riscatelli going to ground. He's got one in the head then too. And all of a sudden, just wonderful pickup. Just good awareness. And gee, second soda. Interesting game. Not free-flowing yet.
Just check the books, Tim, and it's not Daniel Bradshaw's birthday. It's the 21st of November, but you would have thought so, judging on what we've seen so far.
Oh, you would, and all the Demons have been watching too much soccer late at night. I think Hutto Uze had a Bit of a dip off the ground at the other end of the ground from Brad Green and made a mess of it. And there is the goose hitting of Queensland football.
He's gone. At least still here.
That's true. McLean is in the midst of that for the Demons.
Jonathan Brown was in the back of the box there. What Lee wouldn't do to have him out there tonight.
Yes.
Well, he'd be happy with what he's seeing early.
Yeah. Look at
Hayden
that.
Kennedy bouncing it. Sharman beautifully. Sleight of hand to Black. And, well, good position, but no mark for Pask. Sherman has it covered and he has Ackermanis supporting him. And Acker has full view of what's up front. He goes for power. It was well weighted, but gee, Jared Rivers is on song at the moment. Playing some great footy down the back for the Demons.
Malcolm, absolutely beautiful weather today in Brisbane. You couldn't almost help but feel like it's a bit of a holiday when you're coming from down south. That couldn't relax the Demons players too much, could it?
Look, after their form the last 3 years, you'd have to say no. I mean, they know what's on here tonight.
Well, so do the Lions. Still up, feeding Selwood. Another scoring opportunity. And Bradshaw again. That one he had to work harder for, and he doesn't get any reward from the umpire. Play on, out on the full, or was it touched? No, it is a free kick to Ben Hodge.
Gee, they've been unlucky. 2 marks could have been paid up there. Merritt, and that one from Bradshaw, ooh,
yeah,
not far away.
Almost enough.
Can also say, just off the ball, Nathan Carroll, I think, has got a cork hit or some sort of hip injury in that spoiling contest then with Bradshaw.
So the plot thickens. Demons on the back foot already. They've interchanged their ruckman.
What a good mark that is.
Jamar that was, enjoying more game time this year and reaping the benefits. Green's kick not well directed. And there's Copeland, who looks like he's got the job on Travis Johnston. And so far, like all his teammates, they're doing it well at the moment.
Roden, Moody and Brisbane are building again, and they're building dangerously. Wrestling, that's Bradshaw winning it. Pulled by the leg. Free kick. They'll line them up this time. Are you sure you've got that birth date right, Hutto?
Yes.
As we go back. Interesting. He is a very strong man, Daniel Bradshaw. We've seen this. This is the contest I want to see all night, just to see if this Carroll can hold down a full back spot in a grand final. I mean, defence is important.
Great start from Bradshaw and Brisbane. They both have their third.
Now, just got to show you, this contest is a genuine contest. Bradshaw gets his push off. Interesting, that was the hip or leg that Carroll was actually favouring after that last marking contest. Whether there's still some soreness there or whether it was just good play from Daniel Bradshaw, but that's the first contested one. Although he's got 3 goals, it's really one.
Melbourne being smashed at the moment. That man Daniel Bradshaw, 3 goals. He kicked 9 in this match last year against the Demons. So got form on his side against Melbourne, who need to respond desperately. Travis Johnston now in the middle, but it doesn't change the mix. In the end, though, it is the Melbourne side that emerged with it. McLean over the top from McDonald. Now Neitz. Chance to get one back. Long to the goal square. Robertson had 3 of those interestingly designed Lions jumpers to contend with.
Here's that incident where Carroll hurts his hip and then he's pushed off the ball in the next goal. He gets up very, very gingerly on that left side. And ironically, that was the side that collapsed in that marking contest with Bradshaw. We'll watch it closely.
Jamar was trying to feed it down, but you can see that Copeland and Black have combined to get the Lions out of danger again. This is Bartram using Cameron Bruce, just starting to come into it now. It's a well-placed kick. Ward advancing down at half-forward. Just sets it up. Miller, one of the targets for Robertson as well. Patful. Miller didn't have a mate to lay it off to. Now McDonald and Robertson combine. Or is it Uze? It's Uze who's put it through for a goal.
Well, to say that sadly needed would be an understatement. But even that kick from Melbourne then was really to the inside of the points. It wasn't a great spot to put the footy. I can't imagine he had a shot at goal from that far. But they worked it all through, and Adem was clever enough just to get it on his right foot and kick it.
Jeff White rested early. Warm evening by Melbourne standards at this time of the year, which may be a factor. Bradshaw's kicked Brisbane's 3 goals. Uze's kicked Melbourne's 1-1. The Demons under pressure early. Black has been brilliant. That was his 9th disposal of the football, and we're just over halfway through the quarter. Power working it on. Black's in the midst of it again. Couldn't get his hands on it that time. Neitz working up the ground, trying to give his team a lift, which is good leadership. And the Demons build now. Reid to Ward. Thought about it. Went for Robertson. But he's well covered. Ball hammered away by Patfull. But the Demons at least have it at the attacking end of the ground.
Here's just some of the fumbles they've done so far, Blighty.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a... he's a quality player, we know that. But that's sort of rushy. That's rushy. I think Brisbane has just put them under pressure. That's where fumbling comes from.
More pressure absorbed there by Cameron Bruce.
And you mentioned Simon Black with the 9 touches. McDonald was on him. Now Reid's on the ground and has now gone to him. So this is interesting. A player recruited from the Eagles, as we know, has now gone to try and quieten Simon Black.
White back on the ground and palming down with purpose, but again the Lions up to it around the contest. Slick stuff from Moody and Black, and it ends in Sherman's hands. And he runs with devastating results.
Well, this is this group of youngsters, isn't it? Combining, obviously, Simon Black gets involved. He's played some good footy, this lad. He looks like a real prospect. And one of the things that you do like about him, just occasionally he can kick goals. I mean, obviously he kicks one here, but he has been a goal kicker.
Yeah.
And that's rare important.
Well, which side of Neil Danaher will we see tonight?
Have a look at that, Tim. Play on percentage. Melbourne 20%. Brisbane playing on more than every second time they get the footy.
Brilliant goal by Justin Sherman. White back for the Demons. Still outmet by Pickett. Voss, lovely quick hand. Selwood, lovely fierce tackle by Pickett, wins the free kick.
Now this is... We've seen Melbourne in this situation quite a few times this year, and I can rest assure you Pickett has been the one to do this sort of stuff and put some real pressure on.
Just can't see why that is not play on when the ball spills. I mean, why do we stop the game? Why not keep the ball in motion, which used to be the philosophy employed in relation to the holding the ball rule. Anyway, the game goes on. It's Power, and he pokes it to Black, who has possession number 11. He is absolutely dominating. Pask, Power, and Melbourne applying a bit more pressure, but Black keeps accumulating, and that's a lovely ball for Selwood, who will be circumspect here after Pickett got hold of him a moment ago. He goes in the Bradshaw direction. Holland in the way, spoiling Pask. So a throw in. The Lions by 17 points. Have jumped Melbourne early, and they've taken Melbourne's big home following out of the game, Hutto.
They have.
There wasn't much response when Uze kicked that goal a while ago.
Simon Black going off. He's had a big quarter. This is what Lee Matthews mightn't have done a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. But his star midfielder's in great form as we watch his free kick to Brennan.
Yeah, holding on at the contest, stoppage.
Here he is taking some deep breaths.
Jared Brennan is just the sort of player who could almost land it from there. He might use Bradshaw to help him. Can he kick his 4th here? There's your answer. And Goose takes a well-earned drink.
Look at this contest. There's Brennan. Certainly a free kick to the letter of the law. And just that kick to the post. Look at the pushing and shoving here. What Carroll does here is doesn't keep pushing. He goes for the footy. Can't do it. You'll always get beaten from a good player.
Brilliant opening quarter from Daniel Bradshaw.
Yeah, let's remember though, I said the contest I want to see was this one.
Would you think about it?
No, because 2 of them were freebies, remember?
Yeah.
Last 2 have been great.
Voss winning it out of the middle for the Lions. He's made some contributions as well. Brennan on his wrong side. Bradshaw beaten by the bounce. It's the only thing that has beaten him in the quarter. Holland finds sanctuary and then has a furtive peep back at the umpire.
They just cannot get a sniff, can they, the Demons, at the moment?
They're not doing too well at the clearances.
Well.
That is a statistical fact. White and Bradshaw doing the ruck work. They might take it out of the air and kick another. He could have done if he'd wanted. Brennan. But the Demons see it safely over for a behind. And they are defending for their lives. They trail by 24 points.
Yeah, but this is before the game, Anthony, I spoke about that. You know, their midfield's good, their forward line's good. Just want to see this Demons side under pressure of the defence.
Well, they certainly are that now. Green uses Ward and already quite stilted in their movement here. A little bit of risk involved even in that kick. White.
I've seen Melbourne play a lot of times this year, and they do this only occasionally. It's not Neil Danaher's style, is it? He really likes to keep the ball moving quickly to get his forwards one-on-one.
Holland and Bruce. Got Reid working for him here on the wing. Come onto the ground to try and quell Simon Black. Black's with 12 possessions so far. Again forced to retreat. So maybe just trying to get a feel of the footy.
His anchor just having a rest as well. Coming back on.
Byron Pickett is free ahead of Phil Reid here. Being ignored so far.
Oh.
Oh, again they're going backwards. Going nowhere fast. Daniel Ward calls for assistance. Bartram, they're racking the stats up. That's about all you can say for the Melbourne defence at the moment.
I mean, you can ask whether the coaches sent a message out, but quite often some of the senior players would call it out on the ground. It's very hard to get round to 15 players with a runner, but once this starts, generally speaking, the guys think something's on, so they'll keep doing it.
He actually had Sylvia free for a moment there at half forward, but they ignore it and go back again to Green from Bartram. Now, it's quite extraordinary, Malcolm, really. This is...
Well, no, I reckon in the old, get some blokes back. If you're 4 goals down, you've got to do something about it. You've got to make a change to the way you're playing. And I think 4 goals is fair enough. I would suggest that the Brisbane players are going to get off their bike now. They're in control of the game. The only way they're going to get the footy back is if they actually chase leads.
They've had the last 19 marks. Now, this is where the skills are tested. They turn it over and the crowd love that. Jarman farming it back. Stiller on top of it. Miller on top of him. So what did that achieve, Malcolm?
Well, what it achieved was Brisbane, who are hot, denied them the footy just for a couple of minutes. I think it's a genuine tactic.
Yeah, it clearly is. I mean, it's been obviously used by Terry Wallace and others this year at times.
Yeah, and it's always not. It's the other team reacting to it.
Well, it gave the Gabba crowd a chance to dish out the sort of heckling normally reserved for the Poms on a slow day in the middle of an Ashes test. Now Melbourne can press and maybe justify what they've just done. Uze, just nobody there for his cross. And Robertson can only see it over. Uze, Melbourne's sole goal kicker. Brisbane have only had 2, but Daniel Bradshaw has kicked 4. Demons need one. Neitz has been trying hard. He took Michael under the ball there, but Brisbane with the numbers. Voss, Power in trouble here. Pickett's got him. Stiller. Miller's got him. Michael, and Notting Cooley takes it over. And there's a bit of heckling. There must be some Melbourne supporters here too. Margin 23.
Always interests me that play to go straight back to goals. I think you can always rush it by going on an angle and give yourself another chance.
Riscatelli really blossoming. That was not a great handball. Gave Merritt all sorts of trouble. but they work it through. Rowe, and it frees up, and he kept on coming from the still at the shore. That was overly ambitious, but somehow he finds a way out. Out the back, wasn't too good. Bartram overran it, Voss didn't. You can see the result. Selwood, they all dissolve away from him, and Voss just pokes it forward. Bit of a hit and hope. Got what he wanted though. They work it back. Here's trouble. Here's trouble. Brennan missing, and the Brisbane Lions 5-2. Melbourne 1-2.
Yeah, Fossey's had 10 touches too. I mean, Black 12. You see why they're. I mean, they're pretty good players, aren't they? I think we know that. And they're pumping it forward. The Melbourne midfield's just got to get more of it.
Well, it's a much vaunted Melbourne midfield these days, and the old hands of Brisbane really rising to the challenge in the first quarter.
Yeah, but I mean, Reid, Bruce and Greenock, they're all involved in that little do-si-do in the middle there. I'm going to call that the do-si-do from now on when you do that. Just go around in circles. Remember that old dance?
Yeah, I think it's a usefully disparaging title for what is fairly unattractive footy, isn't it? But I guess it is part of the game now.
Oh, yeah, I think tactically it's good. Long's Melbourne... Oh, they're not going to do it again, are they?
Ward to Green.
You can't have two do-si-dos in 10 minutes.
No, that's excessive. Now Carroll working his way to the wing, having had a torrid time down the back. Rivers goes forward as well. It's a bit crowded up ahead. There's not a lot to kick to with optimism. He'll go long. He'll put it in the Neitz direction. It is very crowded.
It is a terrible spot.
Nicely taken. Uze, and that's not such a bad spot. Again, the numbers with Brisbane. Whelan was the only man down. Now he's got it. Just can't get it to anybody. Gets it back himself. Oh, it might have gone all the way.
Yep.
He's done an error, Davey. It found its way through hands and legs and fingers, and the Demons have their second.
Well, I'll be. It's a waste of energy, all this, because the first kick should have gone to this area anyhow. I mean, it's wonderful and a great snap. And the fact that two guys had a chance to smother it and couldn't, unbelievable. But this is wasted energy from everyone on the ground, and that's why teams get tired. And one Brisbane probably didn't want to happen right now.
Voss has a rest, 10 possessions to his name. There's the centre breaks. That is a huge domination by the Lions. They lead by 3 goals. Jamar back in the ruck. Charman continues to win the way, but Jamar has the last laugh that time. Neitz, yeah, he got a handball, but as you can see, it's surrounded by Lions. Scott from the Selwood delivery. Moody competing down there with Bruce. And it's going to go Melbourne's way. Reid had Miller as his posted centre-half forward. Back to Neitz. Goes deep, but it's all Brisbane back there, except for Russell Robertson, who does have the ability to come from nowhere, but not that time.
Anthony, just looking back a little bit as all that unfolded, Ackermanis went into the middle, and Shaney Stiller, not the NAB Rising Star for the week, has now got Pickett. So welcome to footy, son. There he is, number 32 and 33.
Gee, a goal here for Melbourne to be a good result.
Did well.
And Selwood's on the end of his kick. Still time for either team to score. And it's more likely Brisbane at the moment, because Moody has half the Gabba. They're coming at him. Aaron Davey was sprinting at him. And perhaps if he'd gone any further, he was in trouble, but he does find Brennan.
Swing around. One-on-one. This is just knowing your teammates. You've just got to swing around on your left foot and go one-on-one.
Brennan forced back and forced into a defensive kick in the end. Green making a mess of it, but has plenty of friends. Carroll, Whelan, who kicked the last goal. Holland, now Green. Well played by Brennan after slowing things down a moment ago.
And I must follow that up with Jared Brennan. On your left foot, you swing around. If you know your teammates, I wonder if Alistair Lynch was there a couple of years ago. Would he gone straight to the goal square like Bradshaw was there, one out?
Just Brennan, you wouldn't know.
That's true.
So Copeland gets them going again.
Another contest.
High kick, Bradshaw again playing in front.
It's up.
And another sign of the desperation we've seen tonight, the application from the Brisbane Lions, who have come out and really given it to the Demons. And one more before quarter time would be just sensational for them. Black's been the architect of so many. Riskatelli again. Now Ackermanis. Stiller feeds it through. Back to Riskatelli. Just chipped it for Charman. And wasn't it well placed? And the big man didn't let him down. And now on the siren, we'll try and convert. Riskatelli with 8 possessions, been very impressive.
It's a wonderful little movement, that, wasn't it? Little sidestep both ways. You don't buy that in the box.
8 goals, 7 Jamie Charman for the year. And lets himself down with a contact. But a terrific opening quarter by what you would normally say is the home team, even though it is actually Melbourne tonight. But the Brisbane Lions led by 18, Blighty.
Yeah, and I've really enjoyed the quarter. Brisbane were terrific. Melbourne really needs a lift, and we've got a contest on our hands, and that's what we really want to see.
Looking forward to seeing what Neil Danaher does at quarter time. We'll show you in a moment.
Monday, fresh from his 250th, Spider joins Clinton and the Ox on White Line Fever. Then roll out the red carpet for Eagles superstar Chris Judd. This is your chance to discover the Juggernaut's view on captaincy, premierships, moving back east and everything in between. 7:30, White Line Fever. 8:30 on the couch, live and exclusive, Monday.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman Returns tumblers are now landing at Hungry Jack's. Purchase any value meal, and then for $2.50, you'll receive a Superman Returns collectible 3D tumbler. Collect all 4 and leap into Hungry Jack's now.
But Davey's there. What a terrible twosome. Soccer's off the ground. I think it's home. Oh, unbelievable.
It's 1970 Blues versus Pies. Alex Jezelenko.
Alex Jezelenko!
Okay. Jezzy, you stand here. I'll be Mackay. Dave, you can be Jurgen Jenkins.
Little bit of leverage for Jezelenko. You'll be okay.
Takes it to the wing position.
Oh, Jezelenko! You'll be okay! Yeah!
Oi.
Yes!
Nice grab.
If I had a friend that needed some advice with home improvements, whether it be inside or outside the home, I'd say come down to where I work and speak to the people who know what they're talking about.
10 kilo landscape pebbles, only $10. Add along storage solution starter kit, $52.97. GMC 2000 watt table saw, $98. Misty sink mixer, $36.60. 10 kilo briquette heating fuel, just $5.98.
Speak to people that know what they're talking about.
Bunnings Warehouse!
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Threat is as yet unidentified. Eliminate with extreme prejudice.
It's big. Very big. We're going back in until everything on this planet is dead. Go ahead. If it breathes, kill it. There's something coming up on you. Look out!
Watch it now on Foxtel Box Office.
Join us on Tuesday night. He started out looking like Don King and finished looking like Telly Savalas.
Graham Bond.
Plus a man who walks around with a brown paper bag.
Ron Joseph.
Then joined Ron Barassi for a classic Kangaroos Essendon encounter from 1994. All part of your legendary Tuesday night on Fox Footy Channel.
Lions by 3 goals at quarter time. An amazing performance led by Daniel Bradshaw with 4 goals. Simon Black in the middle and Michael Voss turning back the clock. 10 possessions from Voss. Let's have a look at at Neil Danaher and what he had to say at quarter time. No doubt urging the Demons on. Who's been on Voss? Well, Byron Pickett for 9 minutes, Daniel Ward for 9 minutes. You can see Voss has completely outclassed both his opponents, as has Simon Black, who has been absolutely sensational. And started with James McDonald on in Malcolm, and then Philip Reid coming on, but 14 possessions for the opening quarter.
Yeah, and can you keep it up? I mean, that's going to be the trick now. 90 minutes of speed left, and Brisbane has many more younger bodies, so this game's not over by a long way. But Simon Black at his very best in tight. Doesn't he love it like that? And does set up and create. And where you'd expect a really good midfielder to get him, through the midfield. Yep, right through the midfield, all points of the middle section of the ground. And of course the matchup that we've really been interested in right from the start. Daniel Bradshaw gifted a couple early, but he's kicked 4 bloody. Yes, and the highest ranked player on the ground are the 34th. So I wonder who the 35th and 36th players are. They'd be pretty stiff at the moment. But think Nathan Carroll's got to do is get some possessions. He really only earned 1. Well, Lee Matthews, we're calling him Gus tonight. He is not resting on his laurels. He's really getting stuck into them at quarter time and making sure they don't take their mind off the job. Nice. Going lovely.
Neil Danaher looked as though he had some fairly forceful things to say too, and there's the reason why. A 3-goal lead to Brisbane, and that's a conservative estimate of their first quarter domination. It's willing at the start of the second.
Well, that man Travis Johnston there, Malcolm, has not had a sniff yet. No touches.
No, and I must say, he's my sneaky for the Brownlow medal. Anyone listening? Go out and back him, but up to the night.
Don't.
But he's had some great second halves watching him play. He can shut down. What they need to do is get more ball in the midfield. They're better players, so that he can get some pressure off him. Or put him full forward or full back. Do something.
Green, little hand pass back into the traffic to White, but it worked. Michael the spoil, Riscatelli the crumb, knotting the break. Well done, Brisbane. Pask versus Rivers. Good size about Pask. Rivers, good composure. Played it well. Now Johnston gets his first possession of the night and his second, courtesy of McDonald. And that's a neat delivery to Bartram.
Maybe that'll make a difference. Winning some footy through the middle. Bartram probing downfield. That'll help.
Adem loses his kick. It was too late.
Well, unfortunately, in today's footy, he's just got to pull out of this. You can't do that anymore. You've got to pull out of it. The umpires are too trigger happy on that one, I think. However, it happens every time. At least they're consistent with it. You cannot bump with a guy in the art of kicking.
Adem has a very good playing record against Brisbane. Averages 21 disposals a game and has kicked more than a goal a game against them over the journey. That not one of his best looking kicks, and certainly not what he was after. 2-3 for the Demons now. The Lions 5-2.
And for everyone watching that, did you see the big arc that he rang to try and hook the ball back? Almost trying to draw it back towards the goal, as in golf parlance.
Howard gives Ackermanis a pretty straightforward option. Stiller. Cheney Stiller, the nomination for the Rising Star Award of the Week. Not so good. Whelan was arriving, and now he can provide Green with the hand pass option. And probe back into the corridor for Johnston. Suddenly, either he's finding the ball or vice versa. Too far out to score. He goes for and finds Green.
Well, that's why he's got to get freed up, isn't he? Makes great decisions with the football, Travis Johnson. And my Brownlow medal bet. No, I've never had a bet on footy. I should.
I don't recommend it.
No, I never have. But I just like the way he's been going about it. Anyhow.
Now, Brad Green, once regarded as a real dead-eye. Lately, I don't know whether he's quite as reliable as he once was. He makes, I was going to say no mistake, he has missed. 5-5 from set shots for the year from Green. You would have once put him down for 8-2. And still the Demons trail by 16.
And we have the familiar huddle in the middle.
Ackermanis left it behind. Pickett over it. I wonder if Acker will be teammates with some of these Demons next year. That wouldn't help his CV, but I don't think he needs to prove himself as a player. It's in other areas. Voss back to Ackermanis. Just kicked it to the space on the wing. He had no other options. Perhaps a little crude and pass from Rivers, but the umpire didn't agree. Bruce trying to be creative by hand. Bartram out wide back to Rivers on the wrong side, but had time to get these right. Didn't really weight the kick too well. Could have been a free against Thursday for interference on Rowe, but it wasn't paid.
I'd love to know how many times the Demons have led into the pocket and their lead's been on it. A bit of accidental stuff there. They're going far too wide. This is not Neil Danner, who was always charted down the middle of the ground when they played their best footy.
Again, Riscatelli reading the white tap. Bit of a wall for the Demons here. Carroll, it's just not his night. Bradshaw creates another scoring opportunity. Harding, who kicked one earlier, sets this one up for Merritt. The big boys go at it. Who's going to be left standing? Merritt or Holland? Oh, gee, that was just bouncing from Brad Green before it went over. Not deliberate, despite the protest from Jason Ackermanis.
Now, I had a coaching tape here. What I'd be doing there was telling Daniel Merritt to keep your feet and tap it over your head. Rather than try and mark the ball and go to ground, just do something novel like tap it back to the goal square. It's a thing you can practice, get better at.
White to Pickett, great smother. Harding just couldn't get steadied and balanced. And, well, that's a meek retreat from Brad Green. He obviously couldn't see what we could, and that was that he had plenty of space.
Yes, but even you can make a movement away from the goals and still go through them. I've found two rush points tonight to be quite sickening and an easy way out.
Right there, thanks. Play on!
Pickett.
Play on! Nice!
Bruce steering it. McLean taking it wide for Whelan. Game just a little lacklustre early in the second quarter. Miller hasn't made a mark yet. Melbourne with numbers. Now Miller. But no result from the kick other than a turnover. Nodding to Voss. That puts Charman under the pump, and the kick reflects it, although it did get to pass, but the numbers are against him. McLean to Carroll. Delayed the kick. Delivered well. And Green now can help Melbourne build.
They're just not in their game tonight, though, the Demons. White's going to have to work hard here. It was well placed from Green. Did White make the sort of contact he needed to try and lift the Demons? Yes, he did.
It was just the perfect kick, wasn't it? Just drifted over his head, and Jeff fired. Always been a good shot for goal. Good set shot. That one on the run, of course, and definitely over the line. And the D's just pinch one back.
The lead's been cut. Lovely kick by Jeff White, who received a beautifully weighted ball from Brad Green. And White is a pretty good kick for goal. Hayden Kennedy bouncing it. White and Charman. Big win to Charman. Provides the Lions with some movement, but no clean break. So the Demons back within 11 points. And Brisbane's record against the upper bracket this year is not good. They're going about it well so far tonight, and there's the reason why. Voss, Stiller, and Harding, and he's showing some good signs. Done some good things in this quarter.
Well, just that clearance from Michael Voss. I say it every week, I'm like a broken record, but he's on the move. Too many midfielders stand flat-footed. I mean, you can cover a bloke on the move. That's why he got it.
Long shot for Harding from outside 50. Everyone up for Melbourne, not a lot waiting down, and again they are prepared to concede the minor score.
Do you like that one, Malcolm, or not?
I reckon on your knees is probably fair enough. Yeah, under pressure on your knees is.
Yeah, what's Travis Johnston waiting for? Is there a blood rule?
Like Ben Holland.
Yep.
That's good, isn't it? It's a really good mark. And just a little saddle on top of him. Now, who goes to Neitz? Or the other two. I wonder if they'll swap Michael.
Johnston to himself. And then goes, well, it's there for the Demons. Miller forced to spoil. And Harding gets another go at it. This time up against the boundary line. Oh, and they're lining out. Oh, they looked at each other. Merritt and Copeland. Bradshaw might have kicked another one. No. It's the sort of night when that might have bounced through for him. It was touched along the way. Gee, that's an opportunity gone wasted there. They looked at each other. Copeland left it for Merritt.
Oh, the context of a game like this, that's a huge mess.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, that's just someone being positive. Too young, young player coming at the footy.
Could be huger if Melbourne kick one at the other end.
Yeah.
Ward, good kick, but Notting just getting a fist in with Neitz arriving hard. Neitz not able to impact close to goal tonight. He's worked hard up towards the middle of the ground at times, as Melbourne needed a lift after a very sluggish opening. The margin 13 points. Jamar with Charman, couple of rugged customers. McDonald well tied up. Brisbane hard in the clinches, and Black works out another hand pass. Stiller wide, too wide. Yes, it was a Melbourne free kick. Miller to take it, and Brad Miller returning tonight. Just 4 of 5 fields of the ball so far. Rivers, Bartram.
Now, lots of congestion on the other side, so that's why he comes this way. Using Carroll and now Green. It's reasonably open ahead of him. Neitz working hard. You can see the good work from Stiller. Carroll gives Green a bit more room to move. Uze, despite the attention from Rowe. And now Bruce knew that he couldn't take the mark. Keeps it alive. Well done from Johnson. Now McLean had no outlet. Interesting disposal. And the ball is over. And once again the pressure of the Brisbane Lions forcing Melbourne to not move the ball the way they would like. Scatelli was the tackler that time. Jamar, but it was Charman over the top again with purpose. Moody, McDonald rides him all the way. And the Demons just trying to get more desperate, trying to force themselves, impose themselves on this game. They're struggling at the moment, but they are within 13 and they are inside their 50. Lots of Lions jumpers around the footy. Charman, Bruce, if it sits for him, he could have set up a meaningful attack.
Yeah, we go through an untidy patch here. As you can see, Brisbane have put a lot of players back. And the inside target, 50, Bradshaw. And just 3 for just 1 for Neitz. Amazing.
Black again. He could be beyond 20 stats by half-time. A throw by Power. So Melbourne's ball, and Travis Johnston has been the big improver in this quarter. Didn't have a stat in the first. He's had about half a dozen. And Sylvia receives from him. And suddenly the Demons are within 7 points.
Well, we talked about Johnson was the tackler and certain throw. But I just wondered if you could still see Sylvia off screen. As soon as it happened, off he peeled. Just read it better than the rest. Ran into space, and that's a good finish.
Clearance is absolutely dominated by Brisbane so far. Second quarter, they've done well as in the first. Black and Voss have had 6 each. That's as many as the Demons have had collectively.
Been 24 minutes since a Brisbane goal, but they've still been right up there with Melbourne in general play. Charman has been magnificent in the middle. Power inserts them again, but astray with a kick. Should have been cleared by the Demons. Pass! The open goal beckoned. Unfortunately, though, he was dispossessed. And just some of the inexperienced Brisbane players making a few telling mistakes in this quarter. Sylvia, the last goal kicker, committed to the mark.
And that's what happens. I know we all get caught sometimes, but you'd like to see a new player or a young player just have that sense of presence that someone's on you. By the way, Carroll starting to get some of the footy.
Johnson and Sylvia. And suddenly the Demons have got Neitz looming at centre-half forward. Couldn't take the second bite. Michael delayed his handball pretty well. It ends in good hands with Black. And now they're away from half-back. Selwood. Back for Riscatelli. Oh, made it tough for Charman. Play on was the call, and probably a good one. Davey got a toe in. Selwood again. Copeland, Black. Johnson deciding to ride it. And the ball over and out. Maybe we're just getting a little bit of a lift in intensity.
Yep. I know you occasionally, about once every 100 years, I reckon you get caught like that. You know it's coming.
Now, Wyatt was holding the ball, though. It just defies logic. I mean, he wasn't holding the ball. He took about one step and he was about to have a shot for goal. I mean, he wasn't caught holding the ball. Ackermanis here. Brisbane dangerous. It's wide open and Bradshaw nearly won it. It touched the ground. And he's not getting out of there.
A strong man, isn't he, Daniel Bradshaw? Here it is again. Just that little push-off.
Just found the turf, as you can see. No doubt about the umpire's accuracy on that occasion. Melbourne hold it up here. Well, there's a holding the ball, so it's the way of the defending team. Bartram to take it. Demons have worked their way back.
Tim, I agree with that, because the lad took one step, going back to that holding the ball decision. Why do they pay it then?
Well, because there's an obsession with it.
Yes.
There's an obsession with punishing the player with the footy.
Now, you're on a lot of committees. Why can't you get on the rules committee?
I'm not on one that has that sort of influence, Malcolm.
Right. Okay.
Sylvia, I think you're the man for the job. Here go the Lions. Scott. Moody. Sherman. Wearing Alistair Lynch's old number. Alistair last night became a legend of the Tasmanian Football Hall of Fame. Justin Sherman might join him one day. Here's Ackermanis. Some magic Acker. Be hard to get out of there. He need all his old Robertson hats. Brennan and Pickett. Brennan kept it alive. Holland. Gives to Bruce. And the Demons just starting to find a way. Now Whelan. It's not the first time this year they've started a bit sluggishly. There have been a couple of other performances where it just took them a while to get going. A free kick reload to Neitz. And the free kicks in the second turn 5-0 Melbourne's way.
So Melbourne still not with a great system going forward. Brisbane have put some good numbers back, and once again Robertson has to fly with about 4 others. Johnston stayed down. At the back this is Patfull. And Voss. From behind they come and run and move the ball. Out wide for Selwood. He's got a few options. One of them short was Power. Ignores that. He's got Rowe. And even wider than that, it is Power that he eventually goes for, who just disposed of it the moment he got rid of it. And you saw Copeland advancing on the wing. Brisbane 5-5, Melbourne 4-4.
Just watching a few players run around here. A few of them are gasping for air here. They've... I wouldn't say it's the most hardest running game I've ever seen, but it's been constant. And the next 7 or 8 minutes here, very, very important in this game.
Pickett, Chris Johnson really had to be steadfast.
How good was that?
Poked it down along the line. Ward. Now Neitz is being matched by Charman deep. If he goes long, Charman being the extra man to help out. Here comes Neitz. Not on the second bite. Sylvia has looked like a real option for them up forward. Bartram given the 360 treatment by Ackermanis. Crowd cheering for blood. Bruce. Davey. Oh, the foot down to full forward. Robertson wanted a free more than anything. Reid almost found a way. Not quite. Voss again there to save the day. And the Lions. You've seen it all now. I think that was called conceding a behind and just being on the safe side, Malcolm.
I think it was done with a sense of humour, actually, but it's a little ridiculous, isn't it?
That's the third. I'm sick. My stomach is turning over. What is footy going to? What are they doing, guys? He's a champ.
Does he get on the goal kickers list for that?
He's clearly a frustrated forward, Big Mal. He spent a lot of years down there, and they say it does strange things to your head after a while. Maybe it's got him.
I've seen three of the dumb. No, can I say the dumbest thing? You can't say dumb. It's not dumb, is it? It's conceding a point for no reason at all. Why wouldn't you just run towards the goal, veer off for the third time? And I'm not saying it any more tonight.
Maybe being strangers in a name, maybe a first name.
Oh, wow.
He's closed the gap to one straight kick with that.
Still shaking my head.
That'll get replayed a few times. Runs into the open goal and drives it through and cuts the margin to a goal.
Yeah, but how's the other three Brisbane players on the right-hand side of him? I mean, you just run towards it. Oh, no, forget it. Right, back to the footy.
Sherman. Whistle. Advantage called. I wonder why the whistle would be blown. Now it's coming back.
Gee, it's a long way to call it back.
That is very, very close. And you know what for? Over your foot. Very close.
Well, he obviously saw something he didn't like, Hayden Kennedy, and suggesting to Travis Johnston that if it had been much worse, he might have been in more serious strife. Colin to Rivers, who's been a stalwart down the back, under duress through much of the first half of this match. Ward, all that hung in the air and it wasn't well placed anyway. Straightforward, uncontested mark for Notting. Demons within a goal, and they're right in the game now. Not a bad placement from Notting, but Brennan not hanging onto it and still not quite doing justice to the flamboyant talents he has.
Oh, there he is, Robbo, yeah. Just been a lot of players in the Melbourne forward line for fair bit of this quarter. Hard to get a kick.
Davey trying to be creative. Again, the crowd baying for blood. Pickett. Oh, what a great leap from Brad Scott. Well guided by Pickett, who's again been busy.
Actually,
now Reid.
That makes a mockery. Davey being swung like that makes a mockery of that tackle near goal, doesn't it?
Neitz having to do all his hard work out along the 50. And again, there's Brisbane jumpers all around him. Power takes that over deliberately, but because he didn't actually dispose of it, he is allowed to get away with it.
That's interesting, isn't it? Right, you've done a 360 in handball and it's play on. Someone gets caught from the blind side, the ball's knocked out in the tackle with a 1/1,000,000th chance, and it's holding the ball.
There's a lot that doesn't make sense in this life, Malcolm. The holding the ball rule is one of them.
No, but I've always had it clear, but you've confused me now.
There's Pat Full. Uze got him, and he's gone now.
That is holding the ball.
And play on, and it's a Melbourne goal. Green kicks it, scores a level.
Well, no matter what the debate, that is certainly holding the ball. Trying to fend off, caught one hand, dropped it to the ground. Yeah, no one's got any argument with that one. And Robbo, who's been quiet, could have kicked the goal, but did the unselfish thing and gave it to a teammate with Brad Green on the goal line.
About time to bring Harry Kuehl on, isn't it?
There's a bloke in the back of the box he wouldn't mind bringing on, wearing a dark suit, who's going to be coming up and joining you at half-time, Hutto.
He is. Scores level at the Gabba. Brad Green on fire. 17 possessions, although we have to be careful with how we count and take into account those possessions, don't we, after the way they used the ball in the first quarter, Melbourne. He was part of the do-si-do.
I want to see Malcolm do the do-si-do one night.
Melbourne now just starting to get on top, not only on the scoreboard, but in the contests around the ground. Ward. Oh, Sylvia. He's got Reid ahead of him. Tries to place it for him. Bit sloppy on both accounts there, Sylvia. Reid confronted by Riscatelli.
Well done, son.
Continues to impress and wins the day for the Lions, although it's not over yet. Nodding Sylvia and McDonald. Well, not Shirk an issue, McDonald. Sylvia was at a one-handed handball. So rubber the green perhaps going the Demons' way. Uze looks around and sees there's no one coming, and he's able to take the mark pretty much uncontested. With his powerful left boot, perhaps Melbourne can hit the front for the first time in the night.
Anyhow, get off the hold of the ball.
Oh, probably a good call. The tackle dislodged the ball, and then he had a...
Well, it makes the other one illogical, doesn't it? Anyhow, from this pocket, I have seen, been coming here a lot of years now, rarely see a goal from this pocket.
This is the quadrant that you think it's difficult to kick a goal from, Melbourne.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're just on the money yet again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's too good. Uze 1-3.
1-3, yeah. Did you have the same score as that, Anthony? 1-3?
Yes.
The Demons are in front for the first time tonight, and they'd be well pleased to be there close to half-time. Moody to Merritt, who would know only too well that Melbourne shouldn't be in front because he should have taken a mark 15 metres out and kicked a straightforward goal a while ago. Melbourne with numbers, and Carroll with good position this time on Bradshaw. Brennan. Power. Hasn't been a big factor tonight. That was great for Moody.
Luke Power playing in the forward line scares me if I was an opposition coach. I know he's been great on ball and he's been a terrific player, but his work in the forward line always impresses me. He kicks goals himself and has set up a lot throughout his career. In fact, one year he kicked 50-odd, didn't he, as a small forward in one of their great years.
Moody to restore the lead for the Lions.
Oh, there's a kick.
And he's given it a hoof, and he has put it right through the middle. They're back in front.
That's good. Another one of their youngsters. We look at the kick from Merritt come in. Good little contest on the ground, and Brennan sets it up. Great skills from Power. That was a beautiful kick. That's gone 58 metres, I reckon, and he's had a go at it too. So I like to see guys kicking right through the footy.
Been good this year, Moody. Just had dropped off a little in recent weeks, but a nice goal restoring the lead for the Lions, although Jeff White looks like he means business. Nodding now McDonald. Yeah, it's a bit slippery out there. Sylvia didn't like his first option. Didn't really like his second either. Good tackling from Ward. Look at the handcuffs on Black that time. Scott just gave it to Black. Somehow he finds a way out, and Rowe looks for a way out. That was the boundary line.
I don't think Rowe thought that Black could ever get out of there. He spun twice, didn't he? Unbelievably good play. And the handball just couldn't see it into his hands.
White. Cameron Bruce having to contest. You heard the advice from the umpire. Charman took it. They look at each other, the Lions. They know Davey's around. That would make them nervous.
Good pressure here.
Stiller lets it go.
Good pressure, Melbourne.
It was good pressure. Can it create a decent scoring opportunity? It still might, with 93 seconds on the clock before half-time.
And the Lions with just one goal for the quarter, breaking a drought of around 35 minutes with that goal from Moody a moment ago. Ackermanis receiving some work. Margin 5 points close to half-time. It's busy in Melbourne's attacking 50, and the Lions win the test of strength. And Moody now in the other half of the ground, forced to retreat, had nothing forward of him. Oh, Riscatelli putting Scott under the pump, and the spillage goes Melbourne's way. McDonald chopped off. Stiller, Sherman, Voss in safe hands now at halfback. Sherman again. Brennan getting a share of it. Hasn't quite been able to make anything really electric happen. Voss again. Good methodical movement here by Brisbane. Stiller once more. And he goes for Bradshaw, who wins hands down once more against Carroll and can line up for number 5.
Well, he's had a fair quarter too, Carroll. Not that Bradshaw's been the opponent. Once again, it's that left-hand side. Now, this is from memory. I'd love to see how many times he's pushed him off from that side.
It's coming back, and it's there. He has 5, and the Lions lead by 11 points.
I'll take a guess here, and you probably shouldn't do this, but this pushing and shoving, that's because Carroll's a right-handed puncher. So he prefers to go that side so he can get his right hand on it. And I think that I've seen 3 or 4 like that now, just flashbacks, and I just wonder whether he tries it from the other way.
A couple of the Melbourne guns that have been relatively quiet tonight, although Johnston with 7 possessions in this quarter, helping them get back in this contest. Brisbane finishing the stronger though. Can they add to that in the last 5 seconds? No. Half time. Ross, let one go. I think he landed. But it's getting a little serious, a little willing out there. We've seen a few in this round. A few stupid things. This is the most difficult time for the umpires to gain control.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
Start play.
No.
All of a sudden.
Now I think they can still give a free kick in this regard, but some. No, they can't.
No,
it's only a report, isn't it? Yeah.
Good thinking from Michael Voss, although recognising the quarter was over, he couldn't do any damage, and you have to say it was his action that ignited that.
Well, he's led the action with 17 possessions, and the Brisbane Lions are right in this, taking it up to the Demons. The Lions lead by 11 points at the Gabba. Half time, Saturday night footy.
When the final siren sounds, Fox Footy's week is just getting started. All the highlights with the winners, Sundays.
Sinclair's done it again!
Talk back and insight on White Line Fever, weeknights.
They are back in a big way.
Footy's must-see hour of TV on the couch, Monday.
If this was 2 years ago, people would be screaming for Bomber Thompson's head right now.
Full team lists first on Fox League Teams Thursdays.
Not good enough? No, not.
More of the exclusive programs you love this week on Fox Footy Channel.
Get it hot and get it now at Harvey Norman. Hurry in for Sunbeam's Ultra Steam and Spray Iron. With continuous clean steam performance, a scorching $39. Hot price and an effortless close shave with the Brawn Free Control Men's Shaver. Easy to clean and only $55. And treat yourself to the benefits of bagless technology. No loss of suction. Dyson's Barrel Vacuum. Now a hot $748. Check the catalogue out now from your electrical specialist, Harvey Norman.
The sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman Returns tumblers are now landing at Hungry Jack's. Purchase any value meal, and then for $2.50, you'll receive a Superman Returns collectible 3D tumbler. Collect all 4 and leap into Hungry Jack's now.
He steadies to the wing. Oh!
If I had a friend that needed some advice with home improvements, whether it be inside or outside the home, I'd say come down to where I work and speak to the people who know what they're talking about.
10 kilo landscape pebbles, only $10. Add along storage solution starter kit, $52.97. GMC 2000 watt table saw, $98. Misty sink mixer, $36.60. 10 kilo briquette heating fuel, just $5.98.
Speak to people that know what they're talking about.
Bunnings Warehouse! Lowest prices are just the beginning.
With ingenious driver assist technology, an advanced active all-wheel drive system that anticipates when to engage, and 20% more interior space, the all-new RAV4 is bursting with uncompact thinking.
Did you tell me?
I don't think it's going to matter.
It's going to matter.
When it comes to meeting the parents.
Hey, my man.
Oh, pleasure to meet you.
You can take that to the front door for me.
Oh,
don't interrupt, so I'm giving your friend a once over here.
This is Simon.
That's her boyfriend then.
It's all about first impressions.
Oh my God, are we being audited?
It's all about being yourself.
We taught our girls to see only pink and not color.
You didn't tell me it was white.
It's all about getting along.
How long have you two been together?
Teresa counts from the first day that we met, and I count from the first...
Ashton Kutcher and Bernie Mac.
What are you doing?
By me sleeping here assures me that she get a good night's sleep all alone.
This Mr. Right turned out to be Mr. White. Guess who? Showtime premiere, 8:30 Sunday.
Wednesday on Headliners. The Dogs are doomed.
I said, we're gone.
But Footscray has one more card to deal.
If there had been a resolution passed that the Footscray Football Club surrender its licence, that would have been the end of the club that day. But that motion was never put.
The VFL's barrister concedes the Dogs have bought some time.
His precise words were, we're going to give you just enough rope so you can hang yourselves.
A race against time. Part 2 of Footscray's Fight for Survival. Wednesday, exclusive to Headliners.
Time for the nominations for the Toyota Goal of the Week from round 13. A bit of magic in the pocket from Frio's Matthew Pavlich.
And through! Matthew Pavlich conjured up something from the pocket.
What about this volley from Aaron Ronaldo Davey?
Yeah, what a terrible twosome. Soccer's on the ground. I think it's home. Oh, unbelievable.
And some fancy footwork in the wet by the Tigers' Andrew Cracker.
The MCG man. Let's go.
It is half-time at the Gabba, and that was the nominations for the Toyota Goal of the Year for round 13, and it was a very close result, but I think AFL fans have been swept up in World Cup fever, voting for the Demons' Aaron Davies soccer goal to win by 1%. I think that's just a very few votes for round 13, so well done to him. Now, have a look at this. This is one of the AFL's new AFL action figure dolls, Jason Ackermanis in a Brisbane jumper. I'm not holding the Collingwood and St Kilda jumpers because of the trade talk surrounding Jason Ackermanis. Luckily, I don't have a Melbourne jumper, but it is because there is also a Nathan Buckley and a Nick Revolt doll available, and they are in all sports stores across the country now. So go out and have one. Buy one if you can, because you can have lots of fun. Now, no injury concerns at the moment, but there is a bit of an illness concern for Simon Black. You wouldn't know it, 19 possessions already, but he is suffering from a cold and has had to come off a couple of times to rub the Vicks onto his chest.
Careful of that doll, Christie, it self-destructs.
Second half underway. And straight away it's the Lions surging forward, as they did at the start of this game. And Luke Power has a chance to add to their 11-point halftime lead. All right on the goal line. A desperate save, which did indeed save the day for the Demons. Bartram's kicking it over the line and out of bounds.
That was a great punch from Rivers. Have a look at this. Eyes for the footy and hit the ball.
Clean.
And I'd have to say that kick towards the boundary, that's beautiful. That's great skill, that. That kick to the boundary line, I've seen less paid for deliberate this year.
White was going to take it, and I think then realised he'd be vulnerable. Brennan, apart from, can only take it over. So Brisbane pressing early, having kicked the last 2 goals of the first half to grab back the lead, when it looked as though Melbourne might be gaining control. Sharman and White. Black, Voss from a long way. Has he got the leverage in the legs? Not quite. Brennan's there. Again, Rivers made the spoil. Now, Davey's been interesting. He spent a lot of time down the back tonight, and there he was again. Whelan to Ward.
Look at him go, too. He's going to get this back.
He is.
He's run 60 metres flat out.
Blinding speed. Reid. And Melbourne now on the counter-attack. McDonald the target inside. They stepped over the mark is the call. So he gives it to Johnston. A good man to give a football to because he really knows how to use it. Uze at the edge of range. Maybe beyond it. Neitz has the run at this and he's got it. Well, he's goalless so far tonight. He, Robertson, Davey and Bruce have kicked 100 goals between them this year. Tonight, they haven't added to that yet.
Aaron Davies only had 6 possession. Those last 2 have set this up by just sheer will to run.
Neitz 35 for the year. And he gives Melbourne the right start in this second half.
If we watch that contest, great read at the front. Don't you love watching that? And take him on. He has just run and run. And there he is again.
Is it the same one? Are there 2 of them?
Oh, no, it's the same one. And don't you love it? Johnson and then Uze touch it. You know something's going to happen.
Testing times for Lee Matthews. The big guns of the Demons about to really get started. Out of the middle, Bruce, he's one of the big guns. White sets a task for McLean. Here comes Uze. And now Green. Neitz is coming again. He's looming large.
That is beautiful skills from Brad Green. Under pressure, 1 step. Don't good players just see it early? I think we all know that now. It's a common catch cry, but have a look at that. 1 step, spun it right. Michael behind, Neitz, no hope. Oh, great kid.
2 goals in a minute for David Neitz, and the Demons are back in front.
It's a good sign for Melbourne.
It's a good hit and a good give from Uze too. That's the most impressive thing about this. Can't he kick a footy, David Neitz?
It's a lovely action, isn't it?
Yeah, beautiful, relaxed. Soft arms. I think it's a key to kicking.
So the big skipper beats his big opponent to the football again and puts Melbourne back in front. Only held the lead fleetingly tonight, but they look as though they mean business right now. Pickett hitting the ball hard, but to power. Black, and it's Brisbane's turn again. Harding went to the front then. Maybe his best option was to try and get in there and mark it. Reid digging it out. Sylvia doing some good work and hitting the target. Green, Neitz is on the lead again. Here he comes, he's got it. Well, this could be a hat-trick in about 2 minutes.
Been a lot of hat-tricks up here. Tim, how many? Doesn't matter. Here's
Courtney Walsh.
Quick. Back of the footy. And that spearing. It's probably too hard to kick that, but it just split the 2 Brisbane Lions players.
Dead in front. Dead straight. Demons stretch the lead. Well, what an extraordinary change coming over the game. Neitz goalless for a half. and he kicks 3 in a couple of minutes.
Is Courtney Walsh the only one you can remember?
Have you got the others?
No, I haven't.
The others come to mind?
Daniel Bradshaw and David Neitz. Both got hat-tricks at the Brisbane. Saturday the 8th of July 06. Now, in that interview at half-time, Anthony, you did with Jonathan Brown, remember, although they kicked the last 2 goals, that midfield run had finished, and I talked about those young legs compared to senior legs. Really testing time now for Brisbane.
It falls for Travis Johnston, as it so often does, due to his skill and reading of the play. Knotting. Got a bit of attention from Sylvia. Black versus Ward. Well done by Ward. Couple of important touches. Then the all-important third one was left behind, and again Black involved. Stiller was impressive early after being really impressive over the last couple of weeks. He's had 17 possessions, in fact. This is Byron Pickett, though.
Thanks.
Where's he going? He's going to him again. This time Rowe was up to it and aware that Neitz was likely to be the target. And all of a sudden, it opens up on the counter-attack. Pass for Bradshaw.
Great.
Anything you can do. The guns at each end are firing at the Gabba. Bradshaw lining up for number 6.
Well, apart from Bradshaw, the rest of the Lions have managed 2 goals between them. It's not normally the recipe for a winning score.
I'm not sure what his other options are, Neil Danaher, but I reckon he'd be thinking about them right now as Bradshaw rams it through for half a dozen.
Well, it was a build-up, and I think Tim Lane called it beautifully. The kick to Neitz went there once to the well too often, and Redden, every Melbourne player was out of position then. And there is Carroll beaten again on his left-hand side.
Daniel Bradshaw's 6th. Malcolm, you're talking about the side that Nathan Carroll's playing him on.
Yeah.
Should he change?
Yeah, look, just as I said from memory, a lot of them appear to be on the same side. He's a preferred right-handed puncher, so that's his comfort zone. But it's also the strength of Daniel Bradshaw.
Melbourne by a point. Black not able to prize himself free.
Now let's also remember he did have a better second quarter. Carroll got some touches, and the first 2 goals were gimmies for Bradshaw. So she's getting close though.
He has some hot games, Daniel Bradshaw. I've seen him kick a lot of goals in a quarter. He just seems to have these times where it all happens for him. Johnston,
there's that for a spot,
who after a quiet first quarter has really started to have an influence. Davey to Green, and this is dangerous for Brisbane again. The kick's too strong for Bruce.
That was an amazing kick from Travis Johnston. Just looking at it here in the flesh, wasn't it, Malcolm? Because it looked as if he had other options out wide. It looked like there was a lot of Brisbane line jumpers through the middle, but he found a way through the maze.
It was terrific. And then the next kick was I call it a dumb football kick to the boundary line, 50-50. Wow.
Sharman bashing it. Ward, Green, and Reid in there for Melbourne, but he has Sherman against him. That's against Ackermanis for a push in the back. And it's not 50.
And you'd have to say that Acker's been relatively quiet tonight.
Green, and that's a good delivery to McLean. Just about within range. And he's having a look at them.
Been quiet tonight, hasn't he, McLean? 6 possessions only.
This is what you like to see, isn't it? And I reckon the last 10 minutes has shown, other than the Bradshaw goal, that Melbourne are a very good kicking side. When their really good players touch it, this kid can kick a goal too.
Coming back from the right, but not enough. And it found the post, so Melbourne's lead is 2 points.
Kicked a couple of nice goals last week.
McLean averaging 22 possessions a game this year, just 7 tonight. Now, Sharman with a bit of a problem. Power gives him a way out. I think the boundary line would have been a good result there for Brisbane. And it eventually gets there. Or does it? No, it doesn't. Green, he had support, he had a handball on, he didn't want to take it. Instead took on Black and
that's the pick-up.
Turned it over. Power back to Black. Some of the old timers combining with some of the youngsters. Sherman could have gone straight for goal. Past Will. Missed a couple last week. And he's missed again. Unfortunately, Past quite online, missing, as you said, a couple of shots at goal last week, and once again in front of goal. So it's back to a 1-point margin as the Demons try and move forward now.
Brisbane not going away a couple of times. The Demons have really asserted themselves and looked ready to take control, but it hasn't happened. Picken, and again there was the hint of a 50 deliberation, but it wasn't awarded. The mark was pointed out quite firmly to Fixter, who's come on. Uze.
Brisbane have got numbers behind the ball this time.
Johnston, again, his vision is to the fore, but perhaps what he didn't see was Charman looming over Aaron Davey.
I just realised the importance of centre takeaways after goals are scored. You have this open forward line, and that's what Melbourne have been able to do. Them rack 3 quick goals on. It's settled down again the game now. She's hard work from here.
Davey coming at Rowe. Sherman, he's got good acceleration. Davey kept coming, but Sherman was quick enough to get a kick away and find Hardy, who is after Bradshaw, and he'll be lining up for number 7 and for the lead.
On Goff's 90th birthday, Malcolm.
Yes.
It's time.
Well, it's time now because he's got beaten. I'd love to see the video again. He's on that side again, Tim. He prefers to play on that right-hand side. Bradshaw prefers to go the other way. Suits him. He's got to stand the other side, I think. He's got to try something now.
He's kicked 6 straight. He's kicked 6-1.
You fixed that right up, didn't you?
I did. It was subtle, but it was there.
Colin for McLean. So scores level. It's a pretty low scoring affair. Halfway through the third quarter.
Now, just to finalise this left-hand, right-hand side for Carroll and Bradshaw, mark my words, other teams will watch this as they get towards the finals and will find he plays from that side all the time. Let's find a player or let's work on the other side. He's always reaching for the footy.
He got fixed up early in the year by Favola, I think, didn't he? And after that, he's only conceded 10 goals in 10 matches leading into tonight. So he's had a remarkably good record. This is young Chris Johnson looking for Sylvia. They have to work back hard, and that is an outstanding feat to mark under those circumstances. Neitz is doing a bit of the do-si-do down there with Mel Michael. Too far out to score, maybe. Sylvia is a big kick of the ball when he gets onto them. He's taking a fast bowler-like run-up. It is a bit slippery out there.
Anthony, that's a circular waltz now, what David Neitz and Mel Michael were doing.
Good before my time, Melbourne. Sylvia doesn't quite make the contact he would have liked. Enough to give Melbourne a 1-point lead.
Can take a good mark, Colin Sylvia. We have a game here. Rowe bringing it in. Power. And Brisbane on the breakaway. Akamnanis with Davey. Good contest. And the old hand wins it. And wins it well. Does he get a result in the 50? New opponent for Bradshaw. It's Miller taking it to the line. A throw in is the call, despite the exhortations of the locals.
Oh, that had everything. That had the hallmarks, but didn't quite go. Miller now on Bradshaw. I don't know if any of you guys. I was just watching something else, but Miller Carroll's off the ground.
McLean for Whelan. Has a one-on-one as his only option, and Sylvia takes another good overhead mark. Strong hands.
He's really showing his marking prowess, which could be handy for a midfielder pushing forward. Uze tried to tailor that kick for Whelan of the leading Bruce. Hasn't been Melbourne's night, but that is in some way saying that, taking away some of the credit. There is the deserving Brisbane Lions.
There's Miller now on Bradshaw, and fair enough. I'll give Carroll a bit of a spell to think about what he's doing.
Pickett. Uze, it's tight in there. Whelan. Patful. Merritt. Now Black. Suddenly clean and crisp disposal. Riscatelli likes what he sees ahead. He sees Bradshaw in position A. Doesn't matter who you put on me, I'll take it anyway. And surely now the Lions will go back in front. And some debris left in the wake. Adem getting some attention way back at half forward.
Well, the ball came his side and he was good enough.
We mentioned earlier 9 goals in this game last year. He's well on the way, although he makes the goal umpire work too much. Well, that is a couple of big letdowns, isn't it?
Oh, wow.
I didn't mean to fix him up that well.
No,
is that your quadrant, Bob?
Yes, it is. Oh, no, that. No, I'd have to say that was a gettable one. And yeah, they are two big misses, but football is a random sequence of events. So one doesn't necessarily mean what follows would have been.
Were you at the Hall of Fame induction night recently, Malcolm, in Melbourne?
No, I wasn't.
Harry Beitzel, of course, was inducted to the Hall of Fame. He would love to be here calling the action right now because the score is 8-8 to 8-8. Scores are level.
The great Harry Beitzel.
He was a great figure in the media as well as being a grand final umpire. Let's not be distracted from this game. Scores are level. Johnston's kick. Well, that needed to be not centimetre perfect, not millimetre perfect. It needed to be angstrom perfect. I think that is the shortest unit of distance measurement.
Oh, glad. Gee, Tim, I've learned something tonight.
Learned something every night, Malcolm. I told you about Primo Carnero one night last year.
Yeah, gotcha.
He featured in Cinderella Man. I don't know whether you've been to see it.
Busy that night.
Pickett, desperate attempt to mark. Fixter, good work. Riscatelli. Well, there are bodies down. Fixter's holding his head. Clever kick, Riscatelli. Ryan Scott. And Brisbane continue to work. They haven't stopped believing tonight. That's a good mark by Pask. More than a kick from goal. Bradshaw has been the target of almost every forward move. But Luke Power, well, he decides not to go for home. He gets to Black, who's probably a bit further out. On the run. Bradshaw there again. 8-9 to 8-8.
Yes, Neil Danaher just working out what he needs to do. The ball has stayed for long periods in the Brisbane forward line tonight. At times during the game you think Melbourne would kick their 2 or 3 and going away and would get on top. But Brisbane they're due, they're hanging in.
McDonald. 14 possessions tonight. Started on Simon Black, was unable to quell him early. Now he's got new problems. And the Demons again on the back foot here and having to work extremely hard to get out of it. Ward with brute strength. No targets for them. Rowe, who is an expert spoiler, more than anyone else in the AFL, in fact. This time does his own recovery work. Bradshaw waits at the back. That was the smart place to be. Oh, he gives one to Ackermanis. And the Lions roll on.
There's nothing wrong with our game, is it? Miller committed to the ball, missed it. As soon as you miss it, and then Acker running onto the ball like that. There's a lot of things you like about footy, but this is one of them. Great team stuff, and then just the pace of Ackermanis.
No better side in the game. Still, than Ackermanis in full flight. Beautiful to see. A controversial one. Kicking a goal, and the Lions lead by 7 points. Neil Danaher's night is far from done. White beautifully to McDonald, back to White. McLean, Demons really having to work for this. And they're not going to penetrate here. Michael for Ackermanis again. Interesting to note that on our player rankings, Ackermanis across this season has performed best when Brisbane have lost, which probably flies in the face of much of the conventional thinking about him. Brennan with the ball. Miller with a tight hold on. Oh, that's a shocking kick from Brennan. And it's out on the full. It was barely ever in.
I had an old coach that once says, a lot of old coaches, but look at that Bradshaw. Inside 50, 13. Why not? He's in red hot form. If you kick it out of bounds on the full with no pressure, if you thought you were going to lose your leg, would you ever do it? And the answer to that's pretty simple, of course.
McDonald. Well, they haven't had a lot of system since Neitz kicked those 3 goals. They've had no system going forward.
Yeah, and they've gone wider.
Now Rowe, emboldened by a couple of bounces. Perhaps one step too much for him. Davey with a good spoil, effective but fixed to there. And a bad turnover. And Travis Johnston is a good man to have the ball in with Robertson. Oh, Brennan makes amends. Not completely. Neitz for his 4th of the quarter. Only Brad Scott to beat, and he couldn't. The replay would be interesting.
Yeah, well, it's shades of Carrara in that match against Adelaide.
Yes.
Oh, gee.
Oh, Jingo.
I reckon that was very close.
Well, I'll say gee willikers.
Hard done by?
Yeah.
They might have been. Anyway, they're near enough if good enough. As Cruz is on the phone again. Jamar down to McLean. Good hard work. McDonald.
Big win here. It's a big win.
Still McDonald. Copeland with the flight. Robertson hasn't been able to have a mark on this. Davey, surely not. Surely not. He has done it again. But they just get better and better. Where was he when the Socceroos needed him?
Well, it was a big win at the 50-50. Melbourne's sense of presence just starting to come, and then, well, I mean, that's a gee willikers too, really.
That's better than that.
That was brilliant. I mean, that's just, you can teach it. Very few blokes can do it.
He did do it with the preferred.
Sure.
What are you saying, wasn't that hard?
Exactly. Amazing. What a player.
Scores level. Good time for it. Jamar Reid. Now it is really on at the Gabba. Bruce shows it to them. Whelan. Hoping for some Robbo magic, perhaps. Or Neitz.
Just couldn't get balance then, David Neitz. Good fella did well to turn, but just couldn't balance himself up to straighten up.
You'd never say other than that David Neitz is a team player, but he might have given that off, I reckon.
Yeah, no, sometimes you make your decision and you go ahead with it.
Commit.
And that fraction of a second late, I don't have a problem with it.
Brad Scott made the decision. He might regret it now, and he might regret it more. Travis Johnston with a searing pass. And once again, Melbourne should go in front.
Now, my Brownlow medal favourite, Travis Johnston, wouldn't have done himself any harm in the last 2 quarters. His use of the footy, if you're a purist in the game, I'd love to know the touches he's had, how many have actually sliced a Melbourne player on the chest. Brilliant.
100% disposal efficiency for Travis Johnston tonight, Malcolm. There's your answer. And there's the answer from the Demons.
Anthony, did you say 100?
100%.
Yeah, well, that's pretty good.
3 score assists.
Yeah. I didn't know. I mean, that's perfect, isn't it? I mean, everything's touched a teammate.
He had 0 possessions in the first quarter.
Yeah, but, if you haven't got blonde hair, at least get possessions late in the game.
That's
second,
right.
third and last quarters.
Good work from Sylvia down there too on Scott, wasn't it?
This has been an absorbing match.
Oh, it's been good. It's been really good, isn't it?
Absolutely. Melbourne back in front by a goal. The lead changing 3 or 4 times in this quarter. Merritt having a run in the ruck for Brisbane. McDonald has done some really good things in the last few minutes. Jamar is a vigorous and hard-working big man. Here's Green again, but well pressured by Rowe, and Fixter just prizes his body out of trouble. Black surprises them by going onto the right. He's in strife, but with the instincts of a great player, he knew it. Brennan to Selwood, and here comes that man, Bradshaw. He is in the Bermuda Triangle. He's deep in the triangle.
Well, his last 2 kicks have been, well, disappointing because he's played really well, of course. But from this pocket, I'd say less than 20%.
6-2 for the night. Knows the ground well. It just, the air currents here, Malcolm. It started on a good line, but it just went fading away. Demons lead by 5 points.
And again, the ball in the hands of Travis Johnston, who has had 16 possessions now in 2 quarters. He's got nothing on offer. He's going to have to use his exquisite foot skills here. He does to advantage of Reid. Miller pushing up for him on the wing. I wonder if that means that Bradshaw has another opponent. Probably not at this stage. Tough one for Jamar, with the ever-spoiling Rowe over the top. Black in familiar pose, always trying to somehow keep it moving out of the pack. Good work in tight too from Selwood and Rowe and Sherman, and now Selwood again. Good luck under there. Oh, Brennan was the man for the moment. Not sure it actually went the required distance. Ackermanis with a flash of brilliance. Good service for Bradshaw. Just couldn't that time. Rivers. Now Pickett, not out of trouble by a long shot. Byron retreating. Miller. Oh no! Calamity! And Gibbs don't come much more wrapped up than that. The pressure of the night showing on Brad Miller and the Demons, and the Lions are back in front of the Gabba.
Byron didn't run it through. We've been critical, but you'd have to say that Miller got lost there. I don't mind blokes doing that if you don't know, but you would have thought the amount of time and the experience he's now got, he's not an old player, you'd know that you actually got a metre or 2, and he really had 10. But he must have sensed pressure, and well, that's the decision you make, and perhaps that's why, one of the reasons why he's actually just struggled to get a game in this way back. It's taking him a while to get back in the team.
Perhaps that lack of match conditioning and instinct showed. Whereas Pickett, on the other hand, was able to work his way out of serious-looking trouble. McDonald, and here's Neitz again. Oh, it was Green with Rowe making a very good spoil. Brisbane free kick.
And might I add, Black Green's been very good tonight, but twice now he's gone the ball. They've got the ball out the centre, and he's gone to ground. I know it's accidental, one of them. The other one he went to ground, I thought, too easy.
Well, that was the last scoring chance of a thrilling quarter in which the lead fluctuated backwards and forwards, and at the end of it, the Lions lead by 1 point.
It was, Tim, and the forwards had a feast then. Bradshaw, they missed some shots. David Neitz was fantastic early. We saw the brilliance of Ackermanis, and then we saw the brilliance of Aaron Davey. We had it all in that quarter.
It's all set up for the last term. As we go into our break, it is Brisbane 10-10, Melbourne 10-9.
Monday, fresh from from his 250th. Spider joins Clinton and the Ox on White Line Fever. Then roll out the red carpet for Eagles superstar Chris Judd. This is your chance to discover the Juggernauts' view on captaincy, premierships, moving back east and everything in between. 7:30 White Line Fever, 8:30 on the couch, live and exclusive Monday. Wednesday on Headliners. The Dogs are doomed.
I said, we're gone.
But Footscray has one more card to deal.
If there had been a resolution passed that the Footscray Football Club surrender its licence, that would have been the end of the club that day. But that motion was never put.
The VFL's barrister concedes the Dogs have bought some time.
His precise words were, we're going to give you just enough rope so you can hang yourselves.
A race against time. Part 2 of Footscray's Fight for Survival. Wednesday, exclusive to Headliners.
Neil Danaher talks to the troops. Let's have a look at the key legs, some of the key players and how many minutes out of the 90 they've played. Cameron Bruce the whole match, Blighty, but Johnston, McLean, Sylvia and Jeff White only 52.
Yeah, and he's going to be important, but Johnston, as we know, and the other boys, and we look at the Brisbane legs, Michael Voss and the two ruckmen, Jamie Charman and Jeff White, very similar times. Ackermanis, of course, was same as Michael Voss. So there's a bit of petrol in both those tanks, you'd say, wouldn't there?
You would. Let's go down to Christie and get a report from ground level.
Thank you, Anthony. Well, Neil Danaher very vocal at three-quarter time. Not quite as vocal as he was at quarter time, mind you, but he just said to the team, stop playing so wide and start using the centre corridor more, which I think, Malcolm, is what you said a little while ago. You were wondering why they were playing so wide, and Neil Danaher trying to drum that into the troops at three-quarter time. Now, I said that Simon Black was suffering from a bit of a cold. As the game continues and it starts to get cold here, he looks like he's suffering more and more from that, and I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of his teammates are as well. A few of them looked like they were struggling for breath during that break and with hanging their heads. So at this stage, I don't know whether perhaps Melbourne might be the fresher team heading into the last term.
We'll find out soon enough. Jeff White starting on the bench. So he was taken off relatively early tonight, and Charman having the edge over him, but he's had 17 possessions, 17 hit-outs versus Charman's 23. The Demons actually leading the way in hit-outs. Who's going to be the man for Bradshaw for the last quarter? Back to Nathan Carroll.
I think that's a good move by Neil Danaher. He's going to have to stand up and just see if he does something different.
So the Lions enter the last term with a 1-point lead and a real chance of causing a big upset here. And this is going to be a tough last quarter. Jeff White used sparingly. Jamar conceding centimetres to Charman, who reaches over him and wins. Here's the freakish one, Davey, kicking another one of the goals of the year in the third quarter. Rivers giving it back to him. Brilliant move. And Voss can only try and corral him. And he's not really able to do that, but Davey, after a long run, wasn't able to produce the right result.
It was just too tempting for him, wasn't it, in the end?
Yeah, and a very low percentage side on this ground.
He is amazing to watch, though. The old line about worth the price of attendance alone certainly applies with Aaron Davey. Now, well-placed kick. Lions had to sort it out. That was certainly a free kick missed by the umpire. Should have gone to Selwood. The Lions might be able to escape anyway. Fixed it through the maze. Stiller. Here's Holland and Pass. Had a quiet little battle in the forward pocket for much of the night. Travis Johnston enters the fray and uses Whelan. Creative again. Bruce. Whelan kept on coming for him. Now, no path through. Bruce somehow gets it to Davey, who gets a good swing around from Copeland. And he's the man that started it all back there. Whelan still going. McLean shows a bit of poise, a bit of timing, and a lot of skill to give the lead back to the Demons. Brock McLean picked a very good time to make an impact on this game.
Yeah, but we mentioned he can kick a goal and he likes a goal, which I think is important when you're playing. As an on-baller, to kick goals does hurt the team and the opposition. And that's a lovely kick. Free-flowing.
And from a very difficult position on
but
the ground.
he swung back inside, Tim. That was a hell of a lot different to a set shot.
Point taken. Demons back in front. 5 points the margin. Looking for their 10th win in 11 matches. The Lions looking to get some momentum going. They have a draw, which we'll have a look at a little later, which would give them some hope of yet getting back into contention for a spot in the finals.
That was deliberate 4 weeks ago.
There it is. Kangaroos next week. Hawthorn at the Gabba. Essendon. And then Geelong at the Gabba. Now, if they win tonight, they could string together 6 on end, including their win last week against Carlton. It's what's called getting ahead of yourself, but that's what we do. Whelan, Rivers, who has been impeccable tonight. Ward, able to get back his smothered hand pass. It's a little hairy now. Bradshaw was held. Umpire had a good look at it, didn't pay it. Still the Lions a chance. Fixter gives it back to Bradshaw. Sherman comes in to lend a hand. Stiller working it out. Back to Fixter. Running into a pretty formidable character, but copping a high tackle. Ben Fixter from outside 50. Distance the big test here. Bradshaw back in the tooth of goal. The former Swan, who has done very well to play the majority of games this year for the Lions after an injury-plagued time in Sydney. He doesn't go for broke, he does it very well. Jared Brennan's got it, and Brisbane fans will be a little unsure as to whether to rejoice or take a good strong drink. He's dead in front. The distance is not great. It should be a goal. The Lions should reclaim the lead. Brennan misses by a big space.
I find it fascinating. Guys who kick on the run and then have a shot for goal, and they do something completely different. And they're much better kicks on the run. If they should watch some video or tape of themselves on the run, why wouldn't you replicate that in your goal kicking? It just fascinates me.
Slow build up again for the Demons. Ward, who's had quite a bit of it tonight, 20 possessions in fact, finds McLean, who's getting better and better as the match progresses. Bruce working hard, wasn't well placed for him, but he's a man full of confidence at the moment, and he's got it for Sylvia, who's another young gun in this Demon side. Neitz made his move. Unfortunately for the captain, Sylvia had slipped over. Uze's down there as well, as is Jamar in the square, calling for it. Goes for Jamar. Oh, charming, vigorous and effective. Now is that holding the ball? Play on. Selwood, a second skin for Johnston. There's Stiller receiving from Power. 4 points still the margin at the Gabba. Power again getting involved. Moody and Stiller, very impressive. 22nd possession. Here's Jared Brennan. We've seen some of his worst. We need to see some of his best. Unfortunately, again, he puts the ball to ground and he's been penalised. And it's a patient coach, Lee Matthews, leaving him out there at the moment.
Yeah, he put it down, so he's really got to pay the penalty for that. Lee Matthews, perhaps like all of us,
Look out.
Waiting.
Look out. Here come Melbourne.
They have the Vulture Street side of the ground to themselves. Rivers receives, and running into space is young Bartram, just a little indecisive, but does all right. Can he finish it? No. Jamar, Neitz, yes, he's done it. He gets his fourth. The Demons by 10.
Well, that's the best description of footy you've seen today, that one side attacks down the other and miss, and other guys just race to the other side, switch play, and eventually a scramble, but David Neitz good enough, and 4 handy goals in the second half now from the skipper. A mini break for Melbourne.
Gee, they've really had to work hard for it, but their biggest lead of the match for David Neitz's Demons. Now out to a 10-point margin. Neitz 39 goals for the year. Can the Lions respond? The man who's orchestrated so many moves for them, Black, turns it over this time. Johnston in the thick of it. Uze for Sylvia, who's really shown a lot tonight. The future looks very bright. That's not a great kick, although Neitz almost turned it into one. It's a dangerous ball on the ground. Green thrusts his head back, looking for a free.
See, that ball's gone back to the middle the last few times for Melbourne. Something's happened. What Christie said, that Neil Dana bring it back in the corridor if we can.
They're watching Davey, just in case he gets near the ball here. Instead, it's McLean trying to make the run in for the Demons. Power, Briscatelli.
Line again. Picked it up, straight tackle.
This is good pressure now from the Melbourne forwards. If you keep it in there long enough, usually something happens. You've got to keep it in.
McLean, Briscatelli. White, Byron Pickett, and Sylvia again. Can he get enough on it? Neitz! Oh, he did everything but take the mark. Bruce was on the scene just a moment too late. Did all the hard work by the look of this, Blighty.
Yeah, and we do keep the scores. I've got 7 virtually rush behinds for Melbourne.
Gee, Cameron Bruce nearly got his boot onto that. Inside the line, power short to Moody. Demons threatening to take control, but it's far from one. Just 11 points in it, and Brisbane have been a tremendously resourceful opponent tonight. This is Pass, a young Brisbane lineup, and they have played their hearts out.
It's good signs for the future for them.
Absolutely. Brennan getting a bit of it, but, well, it's exciting when he's got it. You just never quite know what's going to happen. Beautifully read by Power, and away he goes. This is good for Brisbane. Just 4 men in the 50, and Bradshaw's enough. He is unstoppable tonight, but after kicking 6 straight, he's lost the radar, and his last 3 shots have all been behinds. Saw off Carroll beautifully.
And dare I say it, on that left-hand side again.
Thought you might. For number 7. And this time he's back on target. And the margin is back to 5 points.
Well, they had it in their forward line for quite a while, but Luke Power doing what he does best, setting up teammates, and probably more the strength. The ball went his side, that's Bradshaw's side, and Carroll learning a bit about playing on a classy player tonight, which is great for his development.
And a bit of angst between Travis Johnston and Selwood. A couple of bulls going head-to-head there. Not much in it. 5 points the difference. White with the tap. Black. Handcuffed this time by Phil Reid.
Put him up, Phil.
Lee doesn't often give too much away in the box. Big congregation of players in the middle. Davey, the man to escape. Now Johnson looks up. It's an open 50. Perfect for David Neitz. The joust continues. Well done by Michael. All fixed up. Tackled without it. David Neitz looks horrified, but the decision was right. They move it very quickly. Perhaps too quickly, but it might be okay. Briscatelli back for Power, who is marshalling the troops at the moment. Copeland, they keep on going. Briscatelli. The Lions trying to surge again. Harding's there. Ackermanis is the man looming. Whelan. Rivers. And Johnston.
Acker's in trouble. That's a bad sign for Brisbane. That doesn't look good. They do have a handy one on the bench at the moment in Voss having a breather. But you wouldn't want to lose Ackermanis in a situation like this. Apart from Bradshaw, only 4 other goals have been kicked by the rest for Brisbane, and Acker has 2 of those. It might be what costs him in this match in the end, but Sharman has ideas of his own about it, and Voss is back, and Black's still there, and now the unpredictable Brennan. And Brisbane work it. But Davey with a terrific tackle on a man twice his size, bringing Sharman down, and the Demons come out of it with a free kick.
Yeah, that's a really good goal, Tim. The tackling here was terrific all round, and there's the Ackermanis incident. Yeah, he just overstretched slightly there.
Whelan's ball for the Demons. McDonald. Melbourne cling to a 5-point lead in the middle stages of the last quarter. The Demons knowing that they must keep winning to hold their ground in the top 4, and that even top 2 is possible. Not tonight, but in the not too distant future. Over the next month, what a clash next Friday night as the Demons play the Tigers at the MCG, then a trip to Subiaco, then the Bulldogs, and then a chance to extract some revenge on Carlton.
Here come the Demons, and here comes the captain.
I know we talk about stats a lot, but you can get clearance that are scruffy and under pressure. But that clearance there, just with someone running onto it like that, and great team and a wonderful kick. They're the clearances that mean so much in footy.
David Neitz. Oh, almost the top of the post. Margin is 6 points. 12-11 to 11-11 as Moody kickstarts the Lions' next thrust forward.
Plenty of posters tonight, as there seem to be in so many games now. And it might be a comment that the misses aren't as big as they once were. There's a lot of discussion about the fact that players don't kick any more accurately than they once did. Geelong have some other ideas about that after today, Hunter.
What was the score at the Telstra Dome, Tim? I missed that.
Yes, the Cats, by dint of accurate kicking, were able to sneak home by about 65 points, I think it was. 23 goals for. Here's Uze, Notting with him. Sylvia, been excellent, particularly in the second half. He and McLean were top 5 draft picks 3 or 4 years ago, and Sylvia's showing why tonight.
You were talking about clearances before, Malcolm. You can see the domination of the Lions in the first half. It has turned around in the second.
Still Brisbane ahead on that particular scoreboard, but the Demons clinging to a bottom line lead, and Pickett drives them forward, and Johnston had the sit, made a rare mistake, but Davey, what's he done? Can he mark his own kick? He'll wait down and try and front it. There'll be a throw in. Oh dear,
it was too easy for him.
Oh well.
He picked it up, that was the problem.
And what a pick-up too. How's that for skill? Just, well, that's amazing that he didn't get anything.
He might get another chance. He's still circling. Good work from Johnson. And it's Sylvia who comes up with a telling blow.
He's been an important player.
Yeah, he has.
His marking's good. We've seen him take some really good mark. He's kicked a couple of goals. He's certainly tough and hard, which is how he really wants to play and get better. Yeah, great snap.
Moves to be made. Tension mounts at the Gabba. Melbourne again by 2 kicks. In fact, by 2 straight goals. And they make the break. McDonald, who never stops working. The bounce beats Aaron Davey, and Sherman covers it. for the Lions. They can't afford to concede another goal. Pickett, he's not completed the mark inside the line. It'll be a throw in.
Yes, and Nick Byron knows that too.
Hasn't been quite as influential tonight as he has on some other occasions during the season. Gee, he just about had enough of it, but the fact was, as he crossed the line, he probably didn't have it in his hands. Black again just beating the tackle. He's been penalised.
That was a huge breakaway.
Well, he can't believe it, and from here, he looks to have been incredibly hard done by. Let's see how he disposed. Well, perhaps the umpire adjudged it wasn't a legitimate hand pass, but you see so many dubious ones passing muster that that's a tough call. Johnston gives to Whelan, and the Demons are on the bill.
They are. And it's Daniel Ward again intruding into the forward line. Gives it plenty. It's a little off target, but it doesn't matter because Robertson's marked in goal.
Well, you don't like saying this, but that umpire's decision, you shouldn't go crooked umpires. I mean, we all have a bit of luck or bad luck in any game, but we've seen a harsh call, and Brisbane were really going forward quickly. All Russell Robertson can do is take a mark under enormous pressure and finally get a goal.
Russell Robertson's second kick of the night. Wipes smiles from many Brisbane faces, although not that one. And it looks as though the Demons might have made the decisive break. They had their biggest lead. They'll be hard to catch from there. Moody puts Brisbane into attack. Brennan has numbers against him. Whelan for Melbourne. Robertson now working up beyond the centre. Missed Green. Green getting it out. Good stuff from Harding, who gets it back. Riscatelli. Melbourne applying the clamps. Green. Robertson, and has a target in Ward, who showed a moment ago that he has a kick with tremendous penetration, and that's a lovely ball to Neitz. Just didn't hang on, but he might nail it anyway. No, he doesn't.
Come on, Tim, say it.
Not saying a word.
I want you to say it.
He was straight in front.
No, that was a point. Could it be?
A handy point?
That one. I was thinking it.
Just flick to the wrong page of the book of cliches, Tim.
They're all wrong pages.
Still time if they're good enough.
Oh, yeah.
That was on one of the pages. Stiller, up to the wing.
Can they pull it out of the fire?
Oh, I'm out. 14-12 to 11-11.
Nice light tackle from Boss.
Team up next. Picked up. Take it straight away.
So they've been gallant, Brisbane, haven't they? I mean, still a good game. I mean, this is what you'd expect a top four side to do.
In Melbourne starting to dominate those clearances, but Brisbane hanging in. Who will win this in the end? Voss to Black on his wrong side, so opts for the hand pass to Fixter. Tough for Bradshaw here, but he'll get a free. There is enough time left. Poor old Nathan Carroll. Been about the most parsimonious fullback in the competition for the last 3 months. But tonight the walls have caved in. Bradshaw has 7. He has 8. And he gives the Lions oxygen.
Yes, the battles continued all night. Certainly across to try and keep him out. I've seen worse than that paid this year, so, you know, I mean, I think you've got to say, if he actually went to the footy, but he's been barrelled out of the way so often, he's tried something different, all right. I don't think it's that bad a call, really.
25,000, respectable crowd tonight. It's a Melbourne home game. Lions members have the right, of course, with their membership to be here tonight, and they're watching it. Terrific match. The Lions refusing to say die. As we turn over the page of the cliche book. 13 points the difference. That was scrappy from McLean. Free kick to Voss.
Interesting, J-Mars on the ground and Jeff White not.
That was made again for Bradshaw, but couldn't complete it. Whelan to Pickett. And Harding, they're suddenly got another win, the second win from the Lions. They needed it. Doesn't Byron Pickett make a big difference over this Melbourne team? He just looms large.
Yes, this hasn't been his best night, but he's just done enough things to still do what you just suggested.
You can just see, though, around the packs, can't you, when he's there, the opposition just tread a little more carefully.
I think he's an excellent tackler, actually.
6 tackles tonight from Byron Pickett.
Is it the dimension he brings, Malcolm, that might make the difference? I remember we were here for this game last year, and you basically said there was something about the Melbourne team you didn't really like. You obviously felt they were short of something. I'm still watching him closely, and I think everyone is. I mean, I think we'd all like to see Melbourne get going.
Here we go. Davey for Rivers.
Kick.
Neitz. Too far out, even for David Neitz' powerful boot. But Cameron Bruce, well, he was in a much better position, but it wasn't well directed. And Power can send the Lions away. To the races goes Voss to centre half forward. Black has to turn around. Marking not normally his number one skill.
Big win here.
He's got plenty of others, though. Ball up.
Still time. The Lions need to score 3 times. They won't score here. The Demons come out of this with a free kick, to the chagrin of big Jamie Charman. White is back. McDonald and Uze. Many of those goal-scoring Melbourne forwards have done a lot of work behind the centre today. Davey for 3/4 was more prominent backward of the centre than forward of it. Ackermanis looks as though he's ready to give it another shot. Bartram hugs the boundary line. And it's good percentage play by the Demons. Tough for Brisbane to get it out, but get it out they might. Moody wrapped up. And the Demons recognising now that there is a pretty simple formula to pretty much ensuring this match doesn't get away, and that is to be tight and hard to close Brisbane down. White winning here. Good pressure on Johnson. Riscatelli to Voss, and the break is on for Brisbane. Pickett coming at Brad Scott. That had potential. Notting. Well done. Shrugs his way clear. He likes these. He can do it from there. He doesn't quite. The margin is 2 straight kicks. Might be useful behind Malcolm.
Colin for Pickett, and he's got a man on, and that is Whelan working hard for him on the wing. He's taken a little while to wake up to it. Now he has nothing immediate for Whelan.
It's his 26th disposal, which is a career high.
12 for the quarter, in fact, Tim. Cameron Bruce trying to create something himself. It was tough for Johnston to mark that. Well done, Fixter. Wins out. Boss a fumble. And now Selwood. By inches they move forward. Black. He's got Charman loose at half forward. Didn't spy him. Instead he gives Davey a sniff. Stiller was not to be denied. Brad Scott to keep the Lions in the hunt. Oh no.
Mark paid to Brennan.
There he has.
Charman.
Wow.
Gee.
Interesting decision. It's resulted in a goal and still on.
was an extraordinary decision. The umpire paid the mark.
Probably line ball. Looked as though he had it a fair way, didn't it? Looked as though it was almost stripped, but not quite, from Carroll. But
he had it for a while in slow motion.
Yeah.
At real speed, he didn't have it all that long.
No.
Was this a mark? It was paid a mark. And now there's only a goal that separates Melbourne and Brisbane. Thrilling finish at the Gabba.
Michael Voss seeming to tell his teammates, we're going to hammer this forward, let's go for broke. But Jeff White stands in their way. Not for long. Selwood just a little cute with the kick. Davey and McLean come to grief. McDonald overwhelmed. Uze comes hard, did it well. Has to kick with the non-preferred. Important contest here. Cameron Bruce. Safe pair of hands for the Demons. McLean with the flight. Manages to beat off one. And deliver to Neitz on the half volley. Pickett. What does he do? He goes for home. He curls it. He scores it behind, and that, believe me, is an important score.
It's actually been a fantastic game of footy, hasn't it? Well, we thought Melbourne were just creeping away, but not to be denied. Brisbane have been good.
Quite a few strange occurrences. Hip and shoulders amongst teammates there. Lions being indirect. Need to get it moving quickly. Stiller. Bit of a revelation across half-back. Brad Scott. They're not done with yet. Ackermanis back on the ground. Harding. Robertson. All hands on deck. Power. Can they find a way, the Lions? Not at the moment. Green adjusted the kick and adjusted it very well for Uze. There's demons everywhere at centre half forward. Sylvia's on his own. Bruce doesn't see him. Instead, went for goal, went for glory. Misses. Wasn't to know.
Brisbane need 2 goals to snatch this back, and they're going to have to get them beyond the 30-minute mark. Fixter as they're forced wide here, and Daniel Ward was able to edge out Simon Black, who is castigating himself on the mark, but he has been heroic tonight, and he shouldn't be hard on himself. This was a little dangerous. Demons under pressure. Ward's got it back. McDonald will be under Voss-type pressure. Pickett. Green, maybe a long roost now, some territory. Bruce is there, the Demons are home. They make it 10 wins from 11. They win a home game at the Gabba, but my word, they were made to fight for it in Neil Danaher's 200th game as their coach by the gallant young Lions.
It's a grand old flag, it's a high-flying flag, it's the emblem for me and for you. It's the emblem of the team we love, the team of the red and the blue. Every heart beats true for the red and the blue, and we sing this song to you. Should all acquaintance people come, keep your eye on the red and the blue.
Well, they're the sort of wins, Malcolm, that can really help come the end of the year. The ones where things don't go your way when you're expected to win. They did it tough, but they've got the points.
And I think when they analyse the game, they'll say that Brisbane are very good, but they needed that win.
Let's go down to Christie with David Neitz.
Thanks, guys. Well, Dave, well done on the win. It was a real power struggle till the end there. Did it feel like as much of a tug of a war as it looked?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we started really ordinary and they jumped us out of the blocks, and we really wanted to get off to a good start and quiet the crowd down, but we started terribly. But the boys' efforts to come back after half-time, being down by 3, and to claw a victory up here is just fantastic.
It was such desperate footy in the end there. I mean, you must be proud as a captain.
Oh, mate, I'm pumped with the boys' effort there. The last few minutes were just magnificent, and pressure cooker situation, and had to win.